All right, well, now I'd like to tell you about this fabulous book. It is called The Less Said on Ducks, the Better. It is a fantastic book. I recommend it to you. And I'm pleased to say that on the line is the creative force behind the book, Dr. Quack. Dr. Quack, thank you so much for joining us. It's great to have you with us. Can you just tell us a little bit more about the book and how it came about?
Yes, thank you kindly, John. But first, could I possibly say how grateful I am to be on the show? I'm a big fan, and you've always struck me as a man who's got plenty of bread. As for the book, it's a bit of an odd story, but I'll give you the quick version. I had been noticing a young man around my pond in the botanical gardens where I live, you see. He'd been visiting daily for nearly a week, hanging about after hours like some kind of pond peepee. He'd just hang about, once everyone had left and the gates were locked for the night, scribbling in his notebook. Well, me and some of my colleagues began to ask questions, Who was he? What did he want? Does he have any bread? That kind of thing. Perhaps after a week of seeing him every night, I gathered my nerves and approached him, and, well, wouldn't you know, we hit it off famously. He wasn't strange at all, just a little bit lost. Well, we became friends, and I asked him what he was writing, and he showed me, and it was the beginnings of this very book, The Less Said on Ducks, the Better, a book that I'm proud to say I helped inspire.
Okay, well, I see now that the book is finally available for purchase. What are your plans from here?
Well, it's back to the pond for me. I've been assisting in the book tour, offering my professional advice here and there.
But aren't you a doctor?
I'm a duck, John.
Of course.
Now that the book's out there, it's my hope that we'll have more visitors to the botanical gardens and meet more friends. Friends with bread, you understand.
I do. Well, look, thank you very much for joining us. Good luck to you and the rest of the ducks.
Thanks again, John.
And right now, I'm pleased to say that the author of this fabulous book, The Less Said on Ducks, the Better, is going to chat to us now, of course, known by his pen name, War of the Reel.
Yes, thank you very much, John. The less said on ducks, the better. It's finally arrived. And, you'll notice, in this rather handsome hardcover. Now, I'm very excited to be able to share this with everyone because it's something that I have been talking about for a very long time, and now thanks to the help of David and the Interactive Publications company, I'm finally able to share it with the rest of you. A little bit about the book. I was travelling around Australia in a van when I received a rather flat tyre, but I was conveniently out the front of botanical gardens. So, based on the fact that I had nowhere to be and no time in which to get there, I just hung around, meeting the locals. The first of the locals being Earl the Eel. Look at him. Sleek, wise gentleman that he is. I stationed myself next to his pond and threw in a few breadcrumbs to loosen his lips, and before I even knew it, he was chattering like an old budgerigar, giving me all the local goss, introduced me to a couple of his friends, the frogs, this guy. There's plenty going on. And they took me in like one of their own. I hang about and got to know them and wrote down a couple of things, and then we said our goodbyes and I headed back to the Gold Coast where I now live. And I was told not long after that that a friend of mine was pregnant with a baby, you see. So I decided I wanted something to give the little fella when he finally arrived in the world with us. So I put down all my ideas that I'd had bouncing around since meeting all the ducks in the park and their friends. And I turned it into this book. This book that's now available for purchase in hardcover. Less said on ducks, the better. Thank you very much to everyone that's bought it so far. And thank you very much to everyone that may read it in future. Until then, goodbye.